One of the most popular and unexpected new Christmas hits of 2024 is sung by a Rock and Roll Hall of Famer and a future NFL Hall of Famer, but it was written by a Canadian. This is the story of Ron Sexsmith's Maybe This Christmas.
Behind the Christmas hits with Drew Savage.
Honestly, who had Jason Kelce singing with Stevie Nicks on their Christmas music bingo card? This has to be one of the most unexpected collaborations in recent memory, but strangely, it works. And it's a great reason to chat with the original singer and songwriter of the song, Ron Sexsmith.
Oh, thanks for having me. It means a lot.
Maybe This Christmas is having a bit of a moment here in 2024. But before we talk about what's happening now, let's go back to the beginnings of the song. It first appeared on a compilation album that benefited the charity Toys for Tots. Which came first, the song or the album that you needed to write a song for?
The song came first. I'd actually had the music for the song maybe 2 or 3 years before I had the lyrics, because I thought initially it was just an instrumental. I didn't really know what to do with it. And then I actually wrote the lyrics on Christmas Day on, I think it was 1999. And I was, Christmas can be a very hard time for people. They have family things. They're expected to be all cheerful, but maybe they're not feeling that way. And I was certainly going through that at the time with my own family, which I think was maybe the last Christmas that we had together. But I was trying to write this song, kind of a hopeful song about forgiveness. And so the lyrics came really, really fast, quite quickly. So then I had this song, and it just so happened, I think it was a year later, I was signed to a label called Network, and they were doing a Christmas album. And they asked me, do I have anything? And I said, well, as a matter of fact, yeah, I have this song. And so I submitted it. And then lo and behold, it actually became the title of that album, which was called Maybe This Christmas.
So for those who are not aware, when you said that was the last Christmas you and your family spent together, you and your long-term partner, the mother of your kids, your relationship was coming to an end at that time.
I didn't know it at the time, but it had been sad the last year or so. And I mean, I was away all the time. I used to be a dad who read books, stories to them at, bedtime and took them to the park. And all of a sudden I was a dad that was never there. And it caused a lot of trouble or problems. And and every Christmas, because Christmas is really my favorite time of year. And every time you get your hopes up that maybe this year it'll be a really magical one, because I've definitely had real magical ones or memorable ones anyway. But oftentimes this goes by, just goes by like, and so I guess the song was thinking, well, maybe this year, we could have something that was, I don't know, that would be memorable and special for the kids and all that stuff. And I can't actually remember if it was, but it was at the time, everything that's in that song, I think is pretty real for a lot of people, which I think is why, it's actually my most covered song, even more than Secret Heart, so, and I think it resonates with people because it is a beautiful time for many people. It's also a very trying time for others. So.
The lyrics really do have this beautiful mix of hope and pain, both very real feelings that people have at the holidays. What were the holidays like for you as a kid?
Oh, I bought into the whole thing. I love this, the whole Santa Claus story. And I was actually, I don't come from a religious family, but I was the only kid in my family that attended church every Sunday. I went to, it was on Sunday school, but the bus would pick me up, and I was into the whole story of it, the mythology, and especially I love the music. And when my Christmases looking back were just that excitement of coming down the stairs and seeing all these presents under the tree. I mean, my mom was a single mom at the time, but she really went out of her way to kind of spoil us. And I'm not saying that's a good thing, but I know that I did that with my own kids as well. I wanted them to wake up and have this idea that Santa was there, and so my Christmases, were very, I think my brothers would agree, we felt very lucky, and it's that whole thing of not being able to sleep and looking out the window and all that kind of stuff on Christmas Eve. yeah, all that stuff really resonated with me.
And then as an adult, as you're establishing your music career, did you find that you were on the road at all at Christmas time?
Thankfully, no. I was always home. Sometimes I would tour right up until Christmas, and I didn't have time to buy presents and things like that. No, but I definitely missed a lot of Easters and birthdays and things, but I was always home for Christmas. Um, and, I didn't even really do much in the way of Christmas shows for a long, in December, I would usually just be solidly home. Um, but, yeah, I think as I got older too, I looked for a deeper meaning in it, because, you get to a certain age and you're not as excited about the presents and things, and
Yeah.
except when your kids are small, you're excited about reliving it through their eyes, and then they get big and it's not fun for them anymore, But for me, I always look to the music because, my favorite Christmas songs were the traditional ones, like the ones like Angels We Have Heard on High and Joy to the World, as opposed to the more sort of goofy ones. Those ones I could take or leave, But I love them, as a guy, a child of melody, I love the melodies of all those old songs. They're just beautiful. The lyrics are beautiful. And so with maybe this Christmas, I wanted to write something that was in that vein, that was, classically Christmas, it was like a traditional kind of folky melody, and without any of the kind of silliness of Christmas that kind of can rub you the wrong way sometimes.
Christmas is such an interesting genre of music because, usually the pattern is you write a song, you record a song, you put a song out, and hopefully it becomes a hit. And its peak in popularity happens at around the time it's first released. But Christmas music is a little different in that there are many examples of a song really truly finding its peak audience over a long period of time. And while maybe this Christmas is your most covered song ever, it's really having a moment now and being introduced to a lot of people for the first time because of a different charity project. This time it's sung by former NFL star Jason Kelce and Stevie Nicks. How did this happen and how did they find your song?
That I don't know. It came out of left field for me. Literally, I woke up, I got a coffee, and the first email I get was this one from, I think, the producer of the track, and said, "Hey, Ron, I thought you might like to hear this." And in the email, it meant, I knew who Jason Kelce was. Obviously, I knew who his brother was too, because the Taylor stuff. But Stevie Nicks, I didn't see that coming. And so I remember my wife was sitting in the other room, and I just sort of played it, and she's listening because it's been recorded many times. And at first it starts off with Jason, and then all of a sudden Stevie Nicks comes in, and she kind of almost fell off the couch. She goes, "What is going on over there?" And I told her, "Well, I just got word this song has been recorded by Jason Kelce and Stevie Nicks." And I didn't see that coming at all. I don't know how like I say, it has been covered a lot. I don't know how they heard it. But apparently the producer told me the lyrics really resonated with Jason. And I didn't know he was a singer, but he has a very lovely voice, a very just straight ahead, pleasant tone. And then, then Stevie's kind of the queen of harmony. Like, she's just such a great job on it. It's a pretty faithful version, it's not like I've heard some versions that kind of a bit over the top sometimes. And usually people try to make it longer because my version is so short, so they'll repeat the bridge or something. And that's all well and good. But no, it was just, I remember feeling a bit sad too. And then that was the first email I got, and it really kind of made my day. But I didn't expect it, the whole number one on the iTunes charts. I've never been number one on anything before. So that was pretty exciting.
Are you curious to hear what other people do with your songs?
Yeah. Yeah. You're always, as a songwriter, your songs are kind of like your children in a way. And so you just want to see them go out into the world and, succeed. So whenever someone does my song, I'm very proud, but I'm also, you just hope that the song doesn't let them down, that it has a structural thing, about it, that's sound, that's going to withstand whatever arrangement they're going to do and all that. Those are the things I worry about. But it's interesting whenever people decide to pick a song, because there's, songs that I've sent to people like Bublé and Emmylou Harris that they didn't do, and then they turn around and do another song that I never even sent them. So a kind of song has to find its way to them. It's like you could submit a song, but it doesn't really work that way. People have to, in their own time, find a song that they feel they can get behind, I think. But it's always interesting. It's always flattering to hear whatever they do, even if I'm not super, into the recording. It's always flattering, and it's always makes me feel proud.
As the holidays approach, your kids are fully grown now. What does the holiday season look like for you this year, Ron?
Well, they are. My son's going to be 40 in March, and my daughter's going to be, I think she just turned 36, I think. And she just lived out west. I sort of moved out west of BC. So I don't really know yet. My son just lives in Toronto, so I'm hoping that he'll come and stay with us for a couple of days. My daughter, I don't know what her plans are yet in terms of flying back here. Her mom also lives in Quebec, so there's always like, who are we going to see this year, sort of thing. So I'm definitely going to be here in December. I'm going to have a Stratford Christmas. I don't know yet who's going to stop by or who's going to visit us or anything. I'm hoping also to get to see my parents in St. Catharines if possible too.
Well, however the holidays take shape for you, I hope it's full of good times, good friends, good family, making good memories. Really appreciate the time, Ron. Thanks for joining us on Behind the Christmas Hits.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. All right. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Ron. I'm Drew Savage. Thank you so much for listening. You can find me on Instagram at Drew Savage on Air. If you enjoyed the conversation with Ron, please leave us a rating and review, and don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss a story behind the Christmas hits.